That's sad. That's sad. So this dude been clout chasing since he tried to tell the Geisha black girl, tried to tell her that me and him was a thing. Back then, I checked him back then. So when I realized that his page got all this stuff about me on his page, I hit him and said, hey, yo, delete me off your page.
It started with a simple tap on a screen. No dramatic music, no warning, no big announcement. Just Claressa Shields going live like she's done many times before. But this time felt different from the very first second. You could hear it in her voice, that sharp tone, that tension, like something was already boiling inside her before she even said a full sentence. She wasn't just talking, she was reacting. And that's where everything began to go wrong. At first, it looked like a normal rant, a champion defending her name, reminding people who she is, what she's done, why she deserves respect. She started throwing around words like levels, saying she's on level 100 while everyone else is stuck at level 10. For a moment, if you didn't know the full story, you might even believe her. That confidence, that energy, it felt real. But then, slowly, the cracks started to show. Because while she was talking, something felt off. The timing was strange. Just hours earlier, Alicia Baumgardner had secured another win the boxing world was celebrating. At the same time, Shadasia Green had just gone through a serious situation in the ring and was being rushed for medical help. It was a heavy moment for the sport. People were either celebrating or concerned. But Claressa, she went live. And that raised the first question, why now? As she kept talking, something even stranger happened. She didn't congratulate anyone, not a single fighter, not even a quick mention. Instead, her energy was directed somewhere else, somewhere personal. You could feel it even before she said anything clearly. This wasn't about boxing anymore. This was about something deeper. Then her words started slipping, not fully, not all at once, but enough for people watching to notice. She wasn't focused on rivals in the ring. She kept circling around something, like she wanted to say a name, but was holding back. And that made the audience lean in even more. Who was she really talking about? Because it wasn't Alicia, it wasn't Shadasia, it wasn't Katie Taylor or Amanda Serrano either. None of them were even part of this moment. Yet Claressa was talking like she was in a fight. Like she was defending herself against someone attacking her. That's when the mood shifted. People in the comments started picking up on it. You could almost feel the energy change in real time. What started as a confident live stream slowly turned into something uncomfortable. Something messy, something that didn't look planned at all. And then came the first real sign that things were slipping out of control. She started talking about her legacy, about how long she's been dominating, saying things like 20 years of this, but the math didn't add up. Anyone paying attention knew her pro career didn't go that far back. It wasn't adding up, and people noticed immediately. Comments started questioning her, not aggressively, but enough to create pressure. And pressure changes everything. Instead of calming down or correcting herself, she leaned in harder. Her tone got sharper, her words got faster. It felt less like confidence and more like she was trying to convince herself of something. That's when the live stream stopped feeling like a speech and started feeling like a breakdown. Then came another moment, small but powerful. She started looking for a bottle of wine. At first, it seemed random, like, okay, maybe she just wants a drink, but then she couldn't find a corkscrew. So now you have this world champion, someone who talks about discipline and control on camera, digging through drawers, getting frustrated, trying to open a bottle she can't even access. It was awkward, but more than that, it was revealing, because in that moment, the image started cracking, the perfect, untouchable champion image. It didn't match what people were seeing live, and the longer it went on, the harder it became to ignore. And then, in the background, there was this constant sound, a smoke detector beeping over and over again. At first, you might ignore it, but after a while, it becomes impossible to unhear. Every few seconds, beep, while she's talking about millions, about success, about being on top. beat, a small detail, but it hit hard because people started connecting things. If everything is so perfect, why does it feel so chaotic? If everything is under control, why does this feel like it's falling apart? And that's when the live stream truly changed, because now it wasn't just about what she was saying. It was about what people were seeing and what they were starting to realize. This wasn't just a champion defending herself anymore. This was something else entirely, something personal, something emotional, something that was about to take a turn no one expected. As the live stream continued, the tension didn't go down. It kept building. You could see it in her face, hear it in her voice. The more she talked, the more it felt like she wasn't in control of the situation anymore. And that's when the real story started to come out, because now it was becoming clearer who this was really about. Not a boxer, not a rival in the ring, but someone outside the sport completely. A name she didn't fully say, but didn't need to, Remy Ma. That realization hit people fast. And once it clicked, everything she had been saying suddenly made sense. The tone, the anger, the emotional energy. It wasn't about competition. It was about something personal, something much deeper than boxing. And that's when the narrative flipped completely. This wasn't champion versus champion. This was something closer to a personal conflict being played out in public. The way she spoke, the way she reacted, it didn't feel like strategy. It felt like emotion taking over. And emotion, when it's raw like that, doesn't hide things very well. She started bringing up her record again, talking about being undefeated. But people weren't focused on that anymore. They were looking at everything else, the way she avoided certain topics, the way she circled around others. Then came comparisons, other fighters, other names, Alicia, Caroline Dubois, even Franchon Cruz Dezern. And here's where it got complicated, because while she was trying to prove dominance, the comparisons didn't fully support her claims. Knockouts, performances, activity, there were gaps, not huge ones, but enough for people to question the story she was telling. And once doubt enters, it spreads quickly. Instead of looking untouchable, she started looking defensive, like someone trying to protect something that was already slipping away. Then came another moment that made things worse. She started talking about opponents, call some of them amateurs. But people remembered. Just weeks earlier, she had been calling those same fighters out, saying she wanted to fight them next. That contradiction didn't go unnoticed. You can't build someone up one day and tear them down the next without people asking why. And the more she spoke, the more these contradictions stacked up. It started feeling like two different stories being told at the same time. One where she's the dominant champion, and another where she's reacting to things she can't control. And right in the middle of all that, the personal drama kept creeping back in. The mention of New York, the trips, the rumors, the connection to someone who wasn't fully hers, even without saying everything directly. The story was forming on its own. People were connecting the dots faster than she could control the narrative. And then came one of the most shocking moments of the entire live stream. She made a comment about smacking people. The way she said it, the context, it didn't land well. Not at all. It felt like a line crossed, something that shouldn't have been said publicly. And in that moment, everything changed, because now it wasn't just messy, it was serious. People weren't just watching for entertainment anymore. They were analyzing, questioning, saving clips. And that's when the pressure really hit. You could see it, that shift in her expression, that slight pause between words. Like she suddenly realized this wasn't going the way she expected. But by then, it was too late. The internet doesn't miss moments like that, and it definitely doesn't forget them. Around the later part of the live stream, something changed again, but this time it was different. The energy dropped, not completely, but enough to notice. The same person who started with loud confidence now looked aware that things might have gone too far. Aware that people weren't reacting the way she expected. There were small pauses now, moments where she seemed to think before speaking. But even then, the damage had already been done. Because once something is out there, You can't pull it back. And she knew it. You could almost see the realization happening in real time, that slow understanding that this wasn't just another live stream. This was something people would replay, rewatch, break down. Every word, every expression, every mistake. And then suddenly it ended. She deleted it, just like that. But here's the thing about the internet. It's always faster. By the time she hit delete, people had already saved it, screen recorded it, shared it, posted it across platforms. It was already everywhere. The deletion didn't erase anything. If anything, it confirmed everything. Because people always ask the same question when something disappears that fast. Why? And the answer in most cases is simple, because something wasn't supposed to be seen. After that, the conversation exploded. Clips started circulating. People started analyzing every second. The smoke alarm, the wine moment, the comments, the tone, everything. And the narrative was no longer in her control. Now, it belonged to the audience. Some saw it as a meltdown. Some saw it as honesty. Some saw it as a moment of pressure breaking through. But almost everyone agreed on one thing. This wasn't planned. This wasn't controlled. This wasn't the image she usually presents. And that's what made it powerful, because for once it didn't feel like a performance. It felt real, but real moments come with consequences, and those consequences don't disappear overnight. Now, every time her name comes up, this moment follows. Every interview, every fight announcement, every appearance, this live stream is part of the story now, because in trying to defend herself, she did something unexpected. She revealed more than she protected. And sometimes the biggest battles aren't in the ring. They're the ones you don't prepare for, the ones where emotions take over, the ones where there's no bell to save you. In the end, this wasn't about winning or losing. It was about control. And for those 16 minutes, she lost it. And once the world saw that, there was no going back.